advocacy group speaks out against Senate Bill 4. Our reporter Darius McCormick has the story. A woman in Starr County sues prosecutors who charged her for murder after a self-induced abortion. And reports in Dallas say a 6-vehicle wreck may have ties to Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice.
Well, good evening, everybody. We've had some thunderstorms that are in South Texas. Now, here you are. Here's Cuero. Here's Gonzales. You see that big storm? It's coming through San Antonio, but that line is also moving in this direction, so we may have some thunder overnight. We'll have all the details coming up in a moment.
And history tonight in Houston at Minute Maid Park. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia is on assignment. Victoria police arrested a 17-year-old suspect over the weekend. Riley Garcia is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. A 2-vehicle wreck at the intersection of Crestwood and Navarro Streets tied up both north and southbound lanes this afternoon. It happened around 1 p.m. Both sides of Navarro were closed for a short time with Victoria police officers directing traffic. The wreck is still under investigation. Both vehicles had relatively minor damage. It appears no major injuries occurred. One of the 2 suspects in an animal cruelty case in Victoria County is expected in court Tuesday morning. 42-year-old Carissa Salinas and 55-year-old Terry Ellis were indicted on 11 counts of animal cruelty. The incident in question happened on December 16, 2022. Salinas is expected in court at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Today marks the beginning of Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. Local first responders mark the occasion by not just sounding off with their voices, but also with their sirens. Fire trucks, police vehicles, and others lined up at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center parking lot at noon, while first responders and many others lined up alongside the sidewalk to bring attention to the cause. Megan Gum, director of the Hope Child Advocacy Center, says the more awareness brought to this issue, the better.
We're really excited about this event. It helps honor those who've been impacted by abuse, and when we get the community involved, we increase education and awareness and end abuse in our community.
The Child Abuse Send-Off is an annual event to help raise awareness. Last year alone, over 1,000 cases of child abuse reported just in Victoria County. If you need to report abuse, call 911. Here's your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here's the question. Are you aware of the signs and symptoms of child abuse? Yes or no? 77% of our voters said yes, they are aware. 23% said no. We thank you for voting. After months of anticipation, the new and improved De Leon Plaza in downtown Victoria will open with a number of improvements. 25 News Now reporter Trey Meinig has more.
Among the exciting features added at De Leon Plaza includes the state-of-the-art stage, now a permanent fixture at the plaza. Danielle Williams is the director of the City of Victoria's Economic Development Department. She says the stage has some unique features.
It is a dual-purpose stage. You can have a performance that faces out this way, that is a larger area, but you can also do a smaller, maybe a speaking event towards the back.
The upgrades include welcome areas where the public can sit day or night.
Out here where you can sit and eat your lunch, and at night all of this area is lit and it's very pretty at night.
The new restrooms were built with comfort and convenience in mind.
Everything is automatic when it comes to the flushing toilets and the sinks.
Okay.
But again, these are heated and cool, so it keeps it very comfortable in here.
These are just some of the new features added to De Leon Plaza. The grand opening is set for Saturday, April the 13th. Trey Mining, KVUE-TV, 25 News Now.
Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, the clouds were there pretty much all day, but really no problems.
No problem so far, but it's been a very active day out west of us. As a matter of fact, you can see how we're about to start clearing the cloud deck, but there are big thunderstorms, and one big one rolling into San Antonio right now. So those of you certainly along the I-10 corridor may have some stormy weather overnight. So we're going to take a closer look at it coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. We are getting late word now from ABC News. The mayor of Uvalde, Cody Smith, abruptly resigned from office today, effective immediately. Smith said in a statement he was resigning over medical concerns. Meanwhile, Senate Bill 4 heads back to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals Wednesday morning. Attorneys for the state of Texas will try to convince a 3-judge panel SB 4 does not violate the U.S. Constitution. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick spoke with an immigrant advocacy group standing against the bill.
Unconstitutional, unfair, and even racist are words used by critics of Senate Bill 4.
Time is one of the most bold examples of an attempt to just legalize racial profiling.
Texas lawmakers behind SB 4 say it is necessary for border security. Governor Greg Abbott shared this statement regarding the law back in February. Texas has the right to defend itself because of President Biden's ongoing failure to fulfill his duty to protect our state from the invasion at our southern border. Fast forward to March 19th, the Supreme Court ruled the law could take effect.
Right. These are choices that each one of those lawmakers are making. Are they really comfortable with that choice? And
Attorney General Ken Paxton posted to X about the quote-unquote win for Texas in regards to the ruling, but the Fifth Court of Appeals refused to let SB 4 take effect as judges consider the law. SB 4 would allow Texas law enforcement to conduct arrests and deportations without federal oversight. Raices, a Texas immigration advocacy group, believes the law is unjust and dehumanizing.
If you're putting political points and or resources above the value of human life, why? Why is it that that's okay for that person?
The Biden administration maintains SB 4 interferes with long-standing federal immigration laws. Darius McCormick, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Lizelle Gonzalez is suing prosecutors and Starr County for more than $1 million. She was arrested and charged with murder in Starr County in 2022 after using abortion medication to self-induce an abortion 19 weeks into her pregnancy. The then 26-year-old spent 2 nights in jail as her name, mugshot, and private medical information made national news. The charges were dismissed days later. The arrest took place months before Roe v. Wade was overturned and at a time when abortions after 6 weeks were illegal in Texas. Gonzalez is claiming prosecutors knowingly misrepresented facts and disregarded her rights. Police in Dallas reportedly want to talk to Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice following a major crash caught on video. The dangerous collision was caused by 2 speeding drivers, one in a Corvette, the other in a Lamborghini. The Dallas Morning News reports one of those cars involved is believed to be registered to or leased to the NFL player. In all, 6 vehicles were involved with 2 people taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Rice's possible involvement in the wreck, if any, remains unclear. Police have not identified any suspects. 2 employees of Phillips 66 were injured in a fire at one of the oil company's refineries in the Texas Panhandle today. The company says the fire began at around 11:20 a.m. and was put out by 1 p.m. after emergency management officials and the Borger Fire Department were notified. The injured employees were taken to a hospital, but their condition has not been released. Borger is about 50 miles northeast of Amarillo. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. An Israeli airstrike destroyed part of Iran's embassy in Syria, killing a senior Iranian military advisor and roughly a handful of other people. Iranian media reports the strike killed General Ali Reza Zadi. The Iranian ambassador condemned Israel and said as many as 7 people were killed. First responders were still searching for any other bodies under the rubble. He said 2 police officers who guard the building were wounded. The Mexican government evacuated 34 Mexican citizens from Haiti yesterday. This was done to ensure their safety during the ongoing security crisis in Haiti. The Mexican government said the individuals were airlifted from Port-au-Prince by helicopter and safely transferred to the Mexican Navy vessel. This ship will transport them to Yucatan. From there, they will be further helped in reaching their respective destinations. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. President Biden faces backlash following a trans rights proclamation. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, what conservatives have to say. Also ahead, hospitals are now asking for consent when it comes to sensitive exams. Those details tonight. Former President Donald Trump posted a $175 million bond as he appeals the judgment against him in a New York civil fraud case. A state appeals court last month lowered the bond amount by several $100 million. Trump's bond, now posted, will pause any action that State Attorney General Letitia James could take against Trump's properties in response to the judgment. It'll hold until at least September, when the state appeals court also sets a schedule to hear Trump's appeal of the verdict. The Florida Supreme Court issued rulings Monday allowing the state's voters to decide whether to protect abortion rights and legalize recreational marijuana. Florida is one of several states where voters could have a direct say on abortion questions. The decisions reject the state attorney general's arguments that the measures should be kept off the ballot. Voters will also decide whether to allow companies that grow and sell medical marijuana to sell it to adults over 21 for any reason. The Department of Health and Human Services issued new guidance for hospitals regarding consent. In a letter to teaching hospitals and medical schools, HHS says doctors performing sensitive tests such as pelvis or prostate exams must get signed consent from the patient if they are to be under anesthesia. The department says the new guidance is meant to clarify requirements for participants in Medicare and Medicaid programs. In 2022, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton released an opinion that concluded parents are committing child abuse when they provide a transgender child with gender transitioning treatment. Texas Governor Greg Abbott then ordered the State Department of Family Protective Services to investigate any family violating that order. 2 families sued, and a lower court put a temporary hold on that state order. The appeals court has upheld the temporary order until a trial can determine if the state order is legal. President Biden is dealing with backlash for proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. While Transgender Day of Visibility always falls on March 31st, the date of Easter changes from year to year. The dates coincided by chance, but the proclamation still sparked controversy.
Republicans are now taking aim at President Joe Biden for proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. Biden has recognized the day with a proclamation since 2021. This year, he wrote, it honors the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans. Former President Donald Trump's campaign called the proclamation appalling and insulting. In a social media post, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the Biden administration betrayed the central tenet of Easter.
This is just one more instance of folks who do not know how to lead us, trying to divide us.
Senator Raphael Warnock, a Georgia Democrat who is also the senior pastor of Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, defended Biden.
In a moment like this, we need voices, particularly voices of faith, who would use our faith not as a weapon to beat other people down, but as a bridge to bring all of us together.
Transgender Day of Visibility started in 2009 as a day of awareness to celebrate the successes of transgender and gender nonconforming people. It's held annually on March 31st. Easter changes from year to year. This year, the 2 dates coincided by chance. In a statement, White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said, quote, as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Gas prices are rising in Victoria as April begins. AAA Texas reports the average price for a gallon of gas in Victoria is $3.06. That is up 13 cents in 1 month. AAA says uncertainty of the impact of Ukraine's targeting of Russia's oil infrastructure likely spiked oil prices recently.
Well, our temperature right now is 74 degrees. We've had, of course, a strong southeast wind all day long. Tonight, there are some fireworks out, thunderstorms, not far from San Antonio, which are going to be headed into the general crossroads area. We got up to 81 today. Tomorrow we'll be in the 80s, but then we cool down as a frontal system comes in. All that coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. While we've had a fairly quiet day here in the Crossroads, it hadn't been anything but quiet the rest of the state. As you see right about here, we've got a line of thunderstorms coming right down Interstate 35, and there's a big cell just about to roll over San Antonio. Here's what we're talking about. There's the city. There's a severe thunderstorm warning as that cell is just coming into probably the Leon Springs, Bernie area. But it'll go right across the city right there, and that probably is dropping some hail right there. That is a big storm. Now, all of this activity is generally moving east-northeast. As a result, some of you in the northern areas may have some thunder activity overnight. The good news is that by tomorrow morning, all this goes away, and there has been some weakening in this activity. I don't expect hail within the Crossroads, but they could have that up there in Bexar County right now. And of course, the storms go all the way up to Austin, all the way up to Dallas. It all began this afternoon at about 4 o'clock, and it's been rolling eastward. As you can see right here, the severe thunderstorm watch or outlook doesn't include the city, but some of the Crossroads. Tomorrow, it's all going to be east of the Texas state line, so not to worry about it there. We are going to be doing much better by sunrise. Here's our front, and there's our storm. There's the line of activity that rolled through. By tomorrow morning, you'll be picking up a northeast wind, and though we'll get sunshine and it'll be in the 80s by the time we get to Wednesday, it's actually going to be cooling down. Then we've got about 2 or 3 days of very nice weather, courtesy of this big ridge of high pressure, which is going to keep control of everything till about Saturday. And then watch this. Sunday, that storm center that you just saw will be moving into Texas with some showers, kind of like tonight. So I'll tell you why that's interesting. Sunny skies, most of the cloud, if any rain, will be gone by 6 a.m. in the morning. By noontime, obviously, everybody's going to be on the sunny side. For those of you in Cuero, you're getting up to about 80 degrees. And here we go. We have that front coming through. We'll have a northwest wind by morning. That'll clear everything up, and then things are looking very nice for Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures in the 70s. And the reason I was kind of chuckling is because this front should move through our area on Monday with some scattered showers. That's eclipse day, and eclipse is at 1:30. We'll have to watch it very carefully to see how it evolves. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Zach with lots of baseball news.
That's right. Astros pitcher Ronel Blanco just had the 17th one of these for the Astros. I'll have that coming up in sports. History tonight in Minute Maid Park for Ronel Blanco. Astros leading 10-0 in the ninth inning, but the run column wasn't the only column with a zero. Tonight, the 30-year-old just threw the 17th no-hitter in Astros history. He allowed 2 base runners. They were both walks, both to former Astro George Springer. Those were the only blemishes on his night. What a way to get your first win of the season. Hopefully this is what gets the Astros rolling. Final score 10-0. By the way, Joe Espada, the first manager to have their first win be a no-hitter. After being handed their first loss of the season last night, the Texas Rangers making their first road trip of the year tonight, taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. And, well, they wasted no time jumping all over Tampa. Josh Young, 3-run homer, gets the scoring started, and Texas never looked back. They led by as much as 6-0. Final score in this one, 9-3. The Rangers are now 3-1 on the young season. Caitlin Clark in Iowa versus LSU, and Angel Reese certainly did not disappoint. At the half, they were tied at 45 as LSU, drew even just before the buzzer. But in the second half, Caitlin Clark in Iowa woke up and pulled away on the night. LSU's Angel Reese, 17 points and 20 rebounds. Caitlin Clark, though, showed why she may be the best women's college basketball player ever. She had 41 points to go along with 12 assists. Sad day in the NFL. Former star defensive back Vontae Davis has been found dead at the age of 35. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler and retired in the middle of a game during his stint with the Buffalo Bills. Davis's body was found in his mansion. No foul play was suspected. The former first-round pick also had stints with the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. Round 3 for soccer. Here come the Calhoun Sand Crabs after their 3-2 nail-biting victory. They're still gold ball hunting. Their matchup against the Stafford Spartans will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Bay City. The Sand Crabs played the Spartans back in January and just did squeeze out the 1-0 victory. So this one absolutely promises to be another fantastic game. The Sand Crabs chasing that state title. In Edna, we had 2 tennis players taking the program where they had not been since 2019. It was Dan Borski and Smiga who took home second place in the district tennis tournament, and they have secured a spot in the regional tournament in May. This is the first time since the 2019 season that Edna has a player or team in the regional tournament. And Don, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. The Rockets have shocked everybody. They've turned it around. Well, last night they lost. Their winning streak ends, but the Warriors win. So they are 2 games behind Golden State for that 10th spot, which is the play-in spot. That's it for your sports, Don. Back to you.
Josh, we're just getting some late news. The Rangers third baseman, that's Josh Young. Okay. He suffered a broken wrist tonight after getting hit by a pitch by a Tampa Rays pitcher. Of course, he's one of the key players on the Rangers World Series championship team. Zach, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, in Sin City, one lucky winner wins 3 jackpots in one night. The price of gold hit a new all-time high at just over $2,262 per ounce. The increase is largely driven by expectations that the Federal Reserve will announce an interest rate cut in June. Those expectations, along with gold being seen as a safe haven investment and central bank purchases amid geopolitical tensions, gold prices have jumped more than 9% this year. Gold bullion prices have also hit record highs in other currencies, including Europe. Yes, we're 1 week away from the total eclipse of the sun. If you plan to watch the rare celestial event, you should know fake eclipse glasses are hitting the market. To tell if your glasses are real or fake, look closely at this. The real ones are on the bottom. Real eclipse glasses have reflective lenses with curved left and right edges. The American Astronomical Society says the counterfeit glasses may be hard to spot. They have text and original artwork that makes them appear real. But the ones on the bottom, those are the real. And I say that very seriously because we don't want anybody with fake eclipse glasses looking up in the sky next Monday.
It's an important
thing. You can cause serious blindness.
Millions of people are going to be staring up at the sun thinking that they're protected, and who knows. So make sure it says real. So
absolutely.
I believe it says ISO. ISO. That's ISO is a standard that they're all supposed to meet. Whether they printed that or not, I don't know.
But now you're saying it's going to be raining here?
Well, we may get some showers around the crossroads tonight because of some stuff that's out to the west of us in San Antonio. So those of you, Seguin, Gonzales, along I-10, just look out for that. Good news is that by sunrise, it'll all be gone. And tomorrow is a better day. We're going to see the sun, and we're going to be in the 80s. And then north wind is going to cool us down for the rest of the week.
Mac, thank you. And finally tonight, between Tuesday night and early Wednesday, a guest at Caesars Palace won on 3 separate slot machines. The grand total, nearly $668,000. That's according to Caesars Entertainment. No word about the identity of this very lucky person. It could be a fluke. Really? This is the third time within a week that more than $500,000 was won in jackpots at this Las Vegas property. But you can't win them at the Tropicana anymore because they're closing for good tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you think they're going to stay open by losing that many jackpots?
No. All right. Thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Join Carolina Astorine, meteorologist Parker Cox, 25 News Now Sunrise, starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.